All of us share, to some extent, a variety of selves or identities that we subsume under, the name or the ego. And it may well be that you're having those kind of experiences, or it may be something beyond, but that's fascinating. I hope you keep track of it, and maybe someday you'll have a label for it.
I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I just know that it's new to me. It's about 2 months old, and it's been going on consistently. And it's so vivid, Doctor, that I can awaken, and I can describe buildings and towns. I can name people's names. I can tell you what I was doing in this life. And it's...
You have a sense of time when...
Yes, everything.
I mean, future or past or present?
It's in different times, but that's all. It's like I'm dropped into it, wherever it is, whenever it is. I'm dropped into it, and everything is as it should be.
I've worked with some people, and then I've read recounts from others who have dreamed experiences, and then later on began to realize that they were dreaming about either what they consider to be a future life or what they consider to be a past life. And some people have investigated past lives and have found evidence to support what they uncovered in their visions and their dreams.
How strong is the evidence for past lives?
Oh, it's very strong. I'll just mention some of the lines, and then if it's of interest, we could pursue it further. But if there are out-of-body experiences, and that's a whole line of scientific study, near-death experiences. There are past life therapy, past life explorations. There are a variety of anecdotes, of course, from scientific people and celebrities and writers, not only in the 19th century, a lot of people, but, of course, from biblical times and other ancient times. From the cultures, every culture has some kind of theory of reincarnation. Every religion, including Christianity, and, of course, the early Christians, according to Head and Cranston, accepted reincarnation.
Until it was voted out, I hear.
Right. In 500, well, there was a council that was supposed to meet with both the Eastern Pope and the Western Pope, and they were going to consider the possibility of eliminating the philosophy of a guy named Origen, O-R-I-G-E-N, marvelous name, and one of the popes wasn't able to attend, according to the documents, and so Christians were left with kind of a chasm between belief and disbelief, because some people say that Origen's philosophy was cast out. Some say that it wasn't, and others didn't know. And so many formal doctrines have been described, but of course later on one of the emperors decided that reincarnation was out, and so the Cathars in France and other places were punished, tortured, killed, and that seems to be...
Wouldn't that be an expected act of government to cast that out? In other words, if there's reincarnation, then there is not the control of the fear of God and the burning pit of hell and all the rest of that sort
right.
of thing.
If we can come back again and again to deal with our errors and to learn more, well, then we are much more confident. We are much more powerful as souls. Whereas if we are taught that we have to listen to Big Daddy or Big Brother in order to get information, well, then we have a different attitude about ourselves. And so now it seems as if the urge for freedom around the world politically that France and the U.S. and others have helped to establish, I think now there's an intellectual freedom that's growing around the planet too.
Do you think that there could be in the Western world social acceptance of multiple lives?
Not at the present time, but I think that...
That's right. Not at the present time.
But I think that it's growing. There are more and more people. There's a nice little book by Carol Bowman on children's lives, and Dr. Ian Stevenson, the professor of psychiatry in Virginia, has written a book on children's past lives. And it seems as if more and more teachers and parents are listening to kids when they say, well, when I was big, I did this and I did that. And instead of dismissing it, more and more parents are listening to these children, and I think that helps the child deal with concerns as well as help the parents and teachers deal with their...
So if we didn't dismiss it as laughable fantasy, we might hear a lot more of it?
Yes, yes.
Doctor, hold on. We'll be right back. We're going to break here at the top of the hour. Professor Leo Sprinkle is my guest. I'm Art Bell, and from the high desert, this is Coast to Coast AM.
This is Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell from the Kingdom of Nye.
You know, the movie we were talking about that I have so much respect for, that was for Carl, Contact. That's where that bumper came from. Remember that in the movie? Want to take a ride? I couldn't resist. Well, Professor Leo Sprinkle will be right back. Once again, Professor Leo Sprinkle. Doctor, did you get a chance to see The Sixth Sense?
No, I haven't seen the movie. I've heard about it.
You should go and see that really soon. Believe me.
I understand it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Did you hear the little commercial that just ran about seeing people who are dead?
Yes, I've seen the TV announcement. I haven't seen the program.
Right. Is there a barrier, in your opinion, between the living and between those who have passed away? Is there a period of time between lives, a period of time when one might be on what we call the other side or in some great celestial waiting room of souls or something like that? In other words, the nature, I guess, of this multiple life thing.
Yes, there seems to be a lot of evidence to support that. I was thinking of a book that a Canadian psychiatrist wrote, and I'm having trouble remembering his name, about in-between lives. Also, Dr. Newton, Michael Newton, I believe it is, written a book called A Journey of Souls, describing what seems to go on between lives. Mm-hmm. My wife and I have done a couple of hundred workshops in the last 20 years with a couple of thousand people, based upon the work of Helen Wambach. She was a clinical psychologist who did a lot of workshops. Dr. Chet Snow in France did a lot of workshops, and the evidence is interesting. No matter what culture, no matter what group of people, there's similar kinds of evidence that people describe in what they think is a period of waiting in between lives where lessons go on and people draw up their plans for the next incarnation and how they'll handle themselves and their relationships, and the amount of information is fascinating. And of course, a person who is skeptical can try it himself or herself, see if they get some results. But it does seem as if there's an ongoing aspect of our soul or our higher self that has a much higher view or perspective than what we have in our generally day-to-day human life.
There are people who claim that they have some knowledge or contact on the other side. Mm-hmm. Have you looked into these people?
Yes, I haven't done work myself that Mark Macy of Boulder has done, and George Meek, he developed what was called the Spiricom, the spiritual communication technical equipment that could be used to gain messages, whispers, and voices.
Yes.
Now the electronic industry is so enlarged, and so have these people. They not only get information through audio tape, they get it through TVs, through telephones, through monitors, computer monitors. Even sometimes when the equipment is not turned on, there'll still be an image that can be photographed and the messages from the other side.
Yes.
And Raymond Moody, the psychiatrist, Alabama,
I know him well,
has developed techniques to help people communicate with those who are deceased.
The psychomantia.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So there are lots of people who are doing interesting work along this line, and that's another indication that the soul continues on. Some people think that they go on to other lifetimes. Some people think they go on to another level, plane of existence. And George Meek's book Enjoy Your Own Funeral has...
Enjoy Your Own Funeral?
Yeah, Enjoy Your Own Funeral. He wrote an earlier book called After Life, After Death, What Happens, or something like that. He has models of the various levels of consciousness and what both religion and science seem to argue for without dogma.